Well, hello, my hey. I got something to say. Women around the world and men that support us. I'm excited today. I don't think we've had this in 5 years. Two awesome women on at the same time. What? That's incredible. We have Lee Hill in the house. Hey, Lee, how are you? And Ariel Baker. Ariel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So, I don't know exactly how we met, but some awesome networking woman who said you have to meet these ladies. And then they introduced me to Lee, who introduced me to Ariel. The next thing I know, I was coming out for the Muse event in Pottstown with these awesome ladies. And it was so much fun. And after that, I loved what they were doing, which I'm going to let them tell you. But before I do that, Lee, you were up. Before I even read your awesome biography, which is, very short and sweet. You do so much. If you had one power statement that you wanted to tell women around the world and men that support us, what would your power statement be? I think I know it because I have it here, but it says, I want you to make sure I'm correct. Your voice is not too much. It's exactly the medicine the world needs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Then tell me why you picked that one.
I think that for so long, women were hushed and we were given our places where we were allowed to have an opinion, a voice. We could have opinions about our homes and our children and what's for dinner, but stepping away from, those duties and having a voice outside of it. And I'm not saying like women have voices at church because there's women, there were places for us and
Yeah.
our voices. And I think now, I hear a lot of women when I'm having one-on-ones with them where they're like, I keep being told I'm too much. I keep being told I'm too loud. I keep being told that, there's calm it down, just all of these things. No one's walking around telling men to calm it down. No one's telling men that they're too much, that their voice is too loud. And so I think that if you look at it from just a standpoint of we raise these men to be the men that they are,
Ooh, say that
we
again. That's freaking awesome.
we raise these men that you consider like, you know, powerful. We raised those men. And we were okay to raise them and to have a voice in raising them. Now we need a voice that is beside them. We don't have to be louder or stronger. We just need the same capacity. And we change the world by changing each child that we influence. So, yeah, our voice changes the world.
Okay, so I said in 5 years, I don't think I've had two women on at the same time. In my whole life, no one's ever said it that way. I'm highlighting that in quotes. That's freaking awesome. All right, before we move on to Ariel, let me tell them a little bit about Lee Hill. Is a nonprofit founder, community builder, and professional joy instigator who believes laughter is a leadership skill. With a background in entrepreneurship, performance, and advocacy, Lee creates spaces where historically excluded communities feel seen, supported, and powerful. She builds movements by day, plays through life whenever possible, and firmly believes that changing the world should include snacks and a sense of humor. I need to change my bio. That's awesome. Wait, weren't you doing a show that weekend?
hmm
Yes.
Yeah. My audience will love it. What was the show? To raise money or something? I forget what you were doing it
Yeah,
for.
we're always raising money for something. We need money for all the different programming that we have. We're too small to get grants. We don't, fit the market for those. So we have to really hustle for money, and we're hustling for money against bigger corporations who are also
Yeah.
hustling for money. So we do drag shows and stuff, and I'm a drag performer. I'm a drag king, so I'm a woman who dresses as a man and then performs in such a way. Um,
in such a way.
in such a way. Literally, I just poked fun of what I look like, and I do stand-up comedy. I dabble in some magic, singing, dancing, you name it. If I can try it, I'm going to do it.
Oh my God, I love that. How was it? How was your show?
It was
It
good.
was really good. That was November, right?
Yep, it was in
That one was
November. It was
so good.
super good. Um,
Standing room only.
Yep, standing room only. We were able to, we were raising funds for our bike, pajama, and helmet giveaway that we do in December. And I think the number was 218 that we ended up giving away in bikes, helmets,
Oh,
pajamas.
like
Um,
helmets and pajamas?
yes. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it was we definitely met goal of beating last year's, like, goal line.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so it's a thing. So it started, we partnered with another nonprofit who likes to see kids. So they do, it's twofold. It's called Dom Fixes Bikes. You can bring him bikes, he will repair the bikes, and then he gives the bikes to adults who need transport to and from work or doctor's visits, something like that, so that they have some sort of transportation. And then new bikes go to younger kids that are high school level down. Um,
Gotcha.
and so we have been partnered with them. This is our second year that we've done it. Last year we gave 120 bikes away. This year's goal was 135. We exceeded that goal, but
Mm,
Dom will bring he brings us bikes, and then we get bikes as well. So
yeah,
Dom's thing is all children should have a pair of pajamas for Christmas, and all kids should have a bike.
I
And
gotcha.
with that bike comes a helmet. So he donated 100 and some odd bikes to us this year. 177 plus
101.
24,
No, no, no. No, I'm sorry.
77 and 24.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Carry the, yeah, I'm not mathing. Um,
So I said
I'm,
it's
I'm a nerdy. I
101.
don't have
It's
to. Yeah, go ahead.
101. Yeah.
Okay,
I did
101
math it.
bikes. Yeah, he donated 101 bikes, pajamas, and helmets. And then we fulfilled the rest of the needs that are there. And we so that's how it started. A year ago, we were just happened to be at the same place, same time, and it came together, and we gave away bikes in the Pottstown community. This year we
Mm,
were able to give bikes away in the Pottstown community, but we also went to the children's, oh, I'm going to mess this up, but I think it's called CHOR in
Yeah.
Reading. So it's a foster home program for children
ah,
that are not fostered out yet. They're living in this home. They don't really, see the things that kids that are in homes see. So for them to get bikes this year was like a major thing. So
hmm,
we dropped off bikes, over 100 bikes, presents, and PJs. So these
love it.
kids, got to, Santa came and got to give them bikes and stuff. So it was
Oh,
really neat. And we do ages like from the little baby tricycles up. So it was a lot of, and we also did two of those like little cars that you could sit in. And those were donated by um
Citizens advocacy.
no, Sir Optimus
Or
of
optimist.
Phoenixville.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so yeah, that's what we were doing the event for, was to raise the money for those things. So feel
And you
like it
always
was
had some
really
event
successful.
coming up, something coming up and going on to raise more money. I know
We
you
always have something, an event
Always.
coming up and going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the
We're
way, you two drew me to Pottstown, so I ended up bringing my mother-in-law, who's 89, to see It's a Wonderful Life at the
Oh,
Pottstown Theater. It was freaking awesome.
That's the one Joe Cerisi was in, right? No, he was in
he was in Mary Poppins.
Mary
I
Poppins.
don't know, but it was a great theater, number one, and it was a
It's a
Yes,
great
great
show.
theater. I like Still River.
Yeah,
it's amazing theater.
yeah. So I was so happy to support. All right, so Ariel, your power statement was you can't unsee it, so you must undo it. I think I know what it means, but tell us why you picked that and why that means so much to you.
So truthfully, I work for the YWCA, and I was at like our leadership conference, and it was literally like up on a screen. Somebody had shared that quote, and pardon because I don't know who the attribution is for, but to me it means that like, and I feel like this is what happens a lot of times in leadership, is that everyone is looking around waiting for the person to step up and do the thing and take charge and be the change, and they're waiting for somebody else to guide them. And I
Mm,
feel like you can't unsee it, so you must undo it means that if you see things that need to be changed, you can't pretend it you didn't notice. So you have to be active in changing the things that you feel need to be changed. That you can't wait around for somebody else to take charge and be a leader in affecting the changes that you care about. So that's what that means to me. And I found that quote so impactful. Like, I think I shared it on my Facebook page, like, and I've used it consistently since. And I love it. And I think that is important because I do feel like a lot of times people do, especially now when we're so overwhelmed with so many things, want to kind of put your head in the sand
yeah,
about all of the things that are happening all at once because it feels like you're being, crushed by an avalanche. But, you know, pick the thing that you care about the most and work on that. And, I'm somebody um, who values progress over perfection. So, anything that you can do to make, steps in changing the world, however small those are, is I
I
think,
agree.
worth doing.
Yeah, I love that. Can I use it on the kids living with me? You know, that the dishes they all leave in the sink.
Yes.
You can't.
No, yes. As somebody with teenagers, absolutely, I bestow it upon you. Look, um, we can't unsee the problem. The problem
Yeah.
is this big mess.
Yeah.
So somebody has to undo the mess. And it's the same kind of thing. That's exactly it. Like, we see a problem, it is incumbent upon us to take leadership in solving
I agree. I agree.
it.
Even if it's just something small. All right, Ariel, let's tell them about you. Ariel Baker is a workforce development leader, entrepreneurship strategist, and social impact designer dedicated to building systems that help women and communities thrive. She leads innovative programs in economic empowerment, youth development, and career pathways, while also, oh my good, like you guys could, by the way, I'm reading your stuff. This is like just a pinhead of what you guys do, founding and supporting mission-driven ventures. Her work sits at the intersection of creativity, structure, and healing, turning big visions into sustainable human-centered reality. So I want to change this up a little bit of how we're doing the show because I want to make sure we get in. And we talked about a little bit before we pushed record what Muse is all about, how you came up with the name, what your mission is, what you want to accomplish in 2026. Because I really want people around the world to hear what you're doing, whether they can support your organization or start something similar to it. So, how, first of all, did you two meet?
So we met networking. So at the time, my only role was I ran one program that was for women entrepreneurs. And I was networking all the time, trying to make connections because I had a vision for how the program would be. And that vision required both participants and speakers. And so I was just out and about trying to meet women who were invested in the community and trying to make change and trying to better themselves and, all kinds of things. And met Lee, and we bonded over her socks, which were like no foxes given, which cracked me up. And I love somebody who can be dressed professionally, but not taking themselves too seriously. And so, like, we exchanged business cards and, made what, sometimes feels like an empty promise to follow up with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And nope. She came to the YW. We talked about all the things. She literally was like, okay, like we talked for hours, by the way. Like that meeting lasted hours and talked about all the things. And then she was like, okay, so what do you need? Because that's what Lee does. Like, she's like, okay, so what do you need? How can I help? And I was like, all the things I need, like butts in seats for the program. I need, speakers. I need all the things. And of course, as always in nonprofit work, we need money. So she like literally like hustled. She had like filled that cohort. I feel like there were like 24 people that directly attributed Lee as the person who told them to be there and sign up. And
Voluntold, voluntold.
voluntold. And then she ran a fundraiser that we were one of two recipients, for the money. So, like she puts her money where her mouth is. When she says she's going to do the thing, she does the thing. And that's how we met. And really, like, how could I not want to keep somebody who does what they say they're going to do?
Yes.
All the
Huge.
time, every time, who shows up consistently in my life and in my circle. So, and since we have become like, the bestest of friends. So,
And how long ago was that?
about 3 years now.
Okay. And so how did Muse come about? I get now the bonding over the socks. I really want to see the socks. I mean, now I'm very curious and I like personally, but fun.
So it was, it was after your cohort that everybody wanted to stay in touch and they were looking for how to stay connected, like post We360. And so at first it was just Lee and another graduate from her cohort who were like, we're going to do it. And if we do it, will you give us space? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, tell me how I can support. And it was really you guys kind of running it. And then, it ended up being just Lee running it. And then I kind of stepped in so that it wasn't just Lee and that, take a little bit more ownership and keep it a little bit more consistent. But yeah, no, it's always been, well, like Lee used to say it was for past, present, and future We360 participants. But really we've expanded it so much to be like for any women entrepreneurs who can get there. And we have people coming from quite a ways sometimes because I feel like our speakers and the programming is so valuable.
Yeah. So where'd the name come from? Lee, you're up.
So we started off as Society for Successful Women, and we had a branding. We were contemplating it, and after about 6 months of having it, we were like, it needs a different name, and it needs to have some sort of expectation behind it, right? And so we sat around coming up, like, we probably, between me, her, and Tedra, we were in this meeting for a couple hours just batting around names, batting around like what the programming was going to look like, everything, just restructuring the whole thing. And I believe Ariel came up with Muse, and then she's the artist. So we were like, we need a logo. So and it's your responsibility kind of thing. Cause I was doing the programming. I was figuring out where we were going to, what it looked like, what each month was going to look like, what we were going to talk about. So we sent Ariel off to make a logo. I went off to make a website and, Facebook page and an Instagram page and stuff. And Tedra went off to get the bylaws together for it. And then Muse became a mentoring and uplifting strong entrepreneurs. And that's where we've been. That's where it's stuck. We had the logo. We just started moving forward. And last year we put it into reasoning. And so that's how we got here.
And so is it every month? And your headquarters it's going to be in Pottstown, right?
Yes, it's in Pottstown. We are open to having them in other towns. Like if somebody wanted us, hey, I think there would be a great, place if we did it in, like Warrington, or if we did it in Lehigh Valley. I think that there is a need for it in those areas as well. So I'm not opposed to going there and getting a meeting started, setting up the programming and get the programming. We're not just, the Changemaker is not just a Pottstown nonprofit.
Yeah, and the YW is, we're Montgomery,
Yes.
Chester, and Berks, but We360 is all of PA and South Jersey. I think what we look for in a location is how can we highlight and support another women-owned business, if we can. And, sometimes that support shows up as, hey, we're all going to be here meeting for coffee and everyone's going to buy a coffee.
Oh. I want you to break it down. And what do you think? Because I know I saw it firsthand, makes your organization different as far as Muse and helping women entrepreneurs.
I think what makes ours different is we have two nonprofits that have come together, and those two nonprofits have similar missions but different missions at the same time, right? So Ariel and the mission of the YW, and then Changemaker and our mission, I think that bringing them together allowed for a larger grouping of people. So she's already working with a program where she's helping women entrepreneurs start, grow, and sustain businesses, right? And Changemaker also does that same thing. We do it in a mentoring program where we do one-on-ones where you're not having to pay for a business coach. You get a business coach. That business coach can help you along your way. These are people who are volunteering time and effort to be able to do those things. So when you take in the We 360 program and everything that Ariel was doing, and then the flexibility that Changemaker had with their programming, it just made Muse, sustainable. And then you take in also that Ariel has been doing, her programming. We can take what people need extra help in. So let's say you're in Ariel's program and you get the basics of a business plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can one-on-one mentor with Ariel, and she can sit down with you and help you form this business plan. But what if we did a mastermind and we brought in a coach who specializes in business plans? That's all they do. They form business plans. Mm-hmm. And we set you in front of that mastermind, and you get that experienced person, and you say, look, here's my business plan. Or you shoot it to them ahead of time, and when they get there that day, they're like, okay, so for you need X, Y, and Z, and for you need Y, W, X, right? Yeah. The same thing works. Like, we have a branding person. Olivia Denton Thomas is an amazing branding person. She is out of Philly. She's just phenomenal. She'll sit there with you. You'll pull up your website, and she's like, oh, here's this. Like, I just redid my website. I sat down with her, and she was like, take notes, and like went through the thing and was like, okay, change this font. This color isn't working. You need to do this, because she knows what the trends are. I don't.
Yeah.
She knows the trends. She knows what people's looking for. She knows the psychological points behind it. And she can just like hone in and be like, psh. And so I changed it all up. I got more hits yesterday. My Google responses just from like changing some things. So I think that what sets Muse apart from everyone else is, one, we're women driven. We know that you have children at home, a husband at home. You're expected to do all of those things, plus be your own boss. You get no days off. There's a sick kid at home, whatever it is, you're expected to stay home, right? And so we know that mindset is going on. We know what it feels like to be a woman. We're entrepreneurs ourselves. We know what it feels like to feel all of that pressure of being women, and then how to focus it into what women are looking for. We also listen, right? This is not for everyone. We're very small centered. We don't want 100 people in the room. We want small mastermind women who really are dedicated.
Yeah. So that we can have that individual touch, so that people can talk about their very specific issues. And I think that's the difference, is that we are really looking for people to have like success long term. We're not trying to dribble out just enough information so that they have to come to the next Muse meeting. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I'll tell you what I got that was, and you're right. I felt that people in that small group knew that you really cared about them in all ways, and they felt comfortable sharing, their most private experiences that's going on, because it affects everything. Your personal life affects your business. And they felt really comfortable in sharing, number one. Number two, I love that you bring every month somebody different that's an expert, like you said, in that specific thing. I mean, come on. And then if you don't think you need it, you don't go to that one. But I bet almost every one of them you could benefit from.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's really great because we can't do it all by ourselves. And the fact that you offer that, you're not charging them.
And we
Totally
serve
agree.
lunch. And we serve lunch. You get a free lunch. You get to, so you're not having to worry about whether or not you're getting
Yeah.
lunch tomorrow. You know that on Wednesday you can come have lunch with us.
Yep.
You're going to get a nice speaker. I mean, we've
And
set meetings where we just cry. Somebody's mom died one
That's
session.
what I'm saying. Like,
Right. And we just sit and let them talk about their mom. Sometimes you just need to talk about it.
yeah.
And
it's the community. Like, I think that, I think that is so important to women entrepreneurs specifically, is to feel, because it's so, I feel like, for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business of my own. It feels so isolating sometimes to have to do, and you're doing all the things and nobody else, especially like in your immediate circle, really gets it, right? To be surrounded by other women who get it, who, have been there, where they literally just sat down after making dinner for their family, after their day of work, to start on working on their businesses, literally just felt like, I can't take one more step. And I feel like looking at another woman across the table who's like, yeah, girl, been there. What I did when I had that situation was this, you know what I mean? And just be like,
Yeah.
just that acceptance. And like you said, like that community is so crucial and important for people to think, because when you feel like you're the only one doing it, it feels really hard to continue in your path. But like if you look over and you see somebody, nope, I'm walking my own path, but I'm right here with you. You can do lots of things. It can help you continue on when you might have stopped otherwise.
And I'm sure you have already realized this, and I've only been to one, but I get the impression that some events you go to and people feel like they can't tell you, how's business? Great, great, great. You know what I mean?
Nope. Please be honest here.
It is
We can't
great
help you. We don't
sometimes,
know.
but there's a lot of times that it's like sucks wad, you know what I mean? And they felt like they could be that and share that with
I mean, I'll be able to support you with the yay moments, but I feel like you have a lot of yay people. You don't really have a lot of, okay, how can I support you? We've had a woman that was like, I have no one signed up for my grand opening. I'd love to see people there. We're like, okay, say less. And we just got on an email list, sent out the email. Hey, we're all meeting here. We're supporting this person. We're going to be there, and showed up in droves.
And then not just showed up, but everybody we brought with also made purchases. So like, we're not just showing up, but we're supporting what we do. And we're bringing the right people to support. Like, I mean, mainly we're literally just talking. And I was like, she sent me like an event happening in June. And I was like, oh, we should also send that to her, because I feel like her business is kind of also connected. And that's what we do. Like, we just like keep people top of mind. And I think that, and we're also human. Like, and I feel like we're not just out here being like, oh, here's all of our yay moments. We're also like, yo, it's really hard out here trying to find funding, trying to get people to be able to show up. This is where we're struggling. Here's where I struggled in my business. And I think that's what makes it easier to be honest and
yes,
hey, yeah, I'm also not doing well with that. Like, here's what I'm worried about. And we're not even going to get into like the guilt thing with moms and like all of that. We're just going to put that over there. But yeah,
it's a whole other podcast.
A whole other podcast.
A whole week podcast.
Yeah.
But we acknowledge that, like, hey, I think women entrepreneurs are the busiest people in the world. Like, we're always like, and entrepreneurship is like dropping a 9-to-5 to pick up a 24/7. And sometimes you don't even have the opportunity to drop the 9-to-5 first. Yeah. So.
And the fact that we many times are isolated and working at home, it makes it even more important that you get together in person and hear what's going on. It's totally different. All right, guys, I want to get some of these points in because I really believe it's going to help a lot of women around the world. So we can't get them all in, but we're going to start with ones I haven't heard yet. Again, you women are shocking me with some of these things. I'm like, this is awesome. Ariel,
Mm-hmm.
never heard this. Design for your, I'm sure somebody else, but I haven't heard. Design for your worst days, not your best ones. Why'd you say that? Tell me more.
Because I feel like a lot of times people like they overestimate their capacity, and you should be designing for, like, I'm of the mindset, like, if you had 15% today and you gave 15%, then you gave 100%. And I think that that kind of grace that we give ourselves, like, we people come to entrepreneurship for lots of reasons. Some of those reasons might be health related, might be mental, health related, might be neurodivergent related. That was me. Like, I really struggled at a job. At the job that I had, it was really toxic, and I was suffering at the time. I didn't realize it for years from really terrible burnout. And just couldn't fathom sitting in an office at a desk, like, not one more day. And so, and I think, being really honest about what am I capable of doing today, and what am I still going to do to be making progress, right? Like that,
Yep.
what was going to make this easier when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're overstimulated. We have a person that we coach together, and they have major health issues and are always struggling with, I tried and I couldn't succeed, and so I feel like a failure. And it's like, well, what did you do though? And it's like, oh, well, I only like marked off 3 things on my list. I was like, well, it sounds like your list was 5 things too long. So let's start there. And now you've accomplished most of your list, and that was a win. So I just think it's kind of an attitude change of
Yep.
giving grace to yourself and not setting your bar so high that you can't ever reach it.
I agree. I celebrate the little things. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the little things. All right. Lee, which one? Which one? Okay. Because I like the way you said it. Build a table. Don't beg for a seat. I love
Yeah.
that one. Why'd you
So,
pick, why that one?
so when I first started Changemaker, it was kind of funny, but not funny, haha, like funny queer, different. I had women telling me, well, I don't belong in that room, or I don't fit that, or whatever. And I was like, I mean, you can only have a place at the table if you arrive to the buffet, kind of thing. So it was like, this room isn't for me, this room isn't for me, or that door's not open for me. So I just started opening doors and making tables. So if it's an all male room, I will go in there. And for instance, was a woman came to me and said, I would really like to speak at this event, but it's an all male event. They haven't invited any women, but it is pertaining women. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird. And she was like, I wish I could just get in the door. I was like, fine. So I found a guy that I knew that was going and went, can you get me in the door? And he was like, sure. You're not going to like it. And I'm like, that's okay. I don't need to like it. And then I said, can you get me on the docket to talk? And he was like, absolutely. So he put my name down as one of the people who was going to talk. Well, the woman who really needed to say something, because it had nothing to do with me, the woman that needed to say something was standing outside the door. So when they called me up, because everybody's like, oh, it's Lee. Yeah, we'll let Lee talk. We'll let Lee. She's going to be up here and she's going to be funny and it's going to do all these things. And I was like, my time is going to this lady here. And I walked over to the door, opened the door. She walked in and took my time. So make your table. Build your table. If that means that you need to build the table with someone like me who's going to open a door and doesn't care about opening the door, then you build the table with me. You don't have to beg for a seat because you're building your own table. You're putting the people at the table that you want there. You know what I mean? And then, I think it was Tupac that was like, I don't have to like you to have you sit at my table and feed you. Right? That's just paraphrasing, but Tupac had this great thing of like, I will eat dinner with my enemies because I don't want them to go hungry, but you're not my friend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So once I heard that, I was like, okay, that's amazing. So that's kind of been like a mantra for me. But yeah, build your own table. No one says you have to go sit at somebody else's table. Build your table, put your people at it, and make things happen.
Okay, well, let's just take it a step further, because you actually were also doing it for someone else. Like, it was like the sneak attack. That is awesome. You want me, but you really need her.
Yeah. I mean, I have no shame in that, to
Me
be
either.
honest with you.
Me
Um,
either.
I know that I'm charismatic. I know that people want to hang out with me and stuff. I know a lot of people. I don't think that those lot of people know me, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does.
They see what they see when I'm out doing my thing. But if you're paying attention, you know that I'm going to advocate, and you know that I'm going to do the thing that you don't want me to do. And if you still invite me, then you are inviting that change. And I think that, what Ariel was talking about, like, you can't just sit in a room and see an opportunity that needs to happen and sit there and be
Yep.
quiet. So I think people who know me know that I'm not going to sit there and be quiet, that if you want something to happen,
Yeah.
just come to me. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what they love about you. What's Lee gonna do now?
Yeah, that's pretty much the sentiment from everyone. I wonder what she's going to do now.
Oh my God, you two are who? All right. There's so much we could get into, but I want to get into your rituals of what you do every morning. Ariel, is there a routine of how you start your day to get in a more powerful mindset?
Yeah. So I do actually I like to wake up, um, and I like to think about like what's going to make today feel more supportive, right? Um, then I just do something that's going to I like to do just something to make myself happy before I get on social media, before I open my work emails sometimes. And really sometimes I like your Apple will bring you, it's like, oh, are you opening your emails? That's what you normally do first thing in the morning. And it's like, no, that's terrible. So I'm trying this new thing, and I'm trying to make a habit of it, because I do think that's how we are successful, is by thinking of my day and how it's going to be positive, and doing something that makes myself happy, before I get into the things that are possibly going to make me unhappy.
So when you say do something that, I want to make sure I understand, that makes you happy, it's not like this routine has to take long, or it doesn't
No,
have to be the same one every day for you. You
nope,
think in
definitely not.
that
Yep.
day, what is going to, so give me an example of something that makes you happy that you would do.
Um, it might be getting up and making breakfast for, it might be getting a morning kiss. It might be, um, playing music or
Gotcha.
lighting a candle. It could be anything, like anything that's just gonna be like, I'm doing a thing for me. It might be playing a video game. Like I might jump on in the morning if I have like an extra few minutes. So it's gonna just bring anything that you can do that's gonna bring you a little joy. That's going
I
to
like,
be just about you, and not about I don't know, I guess the hat that is for yourself, and
yeah.
not the hat of mom or partner or daughter, just the me hat, like something I'm doing for that is what I try to do every single day.
Yeah. And I want to make it clear. Ariel said for her, it's not the same thing every day. You wake
It is
up, it
not.
could be different.
I wake
All
up, I
right.
assess.
Yep. Lee, what about you?
Um, I think my mantra for when I wake up every day is, um, what's going to make me brave, and what's going to make me feel happy and joyful. Um, those are two things I struggle with. I'm very seasonally depressed, especially when we have a lot of cloud cover and stuff like that. And I've tried the sun lamps and all those things, but the sad really hits me in the wintertime. I feel like I'm not as active and stuff, but so I have to change mindsets when winter comes versus when spring and summer are here. But
Yeah.
I do suffer from my own braveness. I'm very brave for other people. I have no problem if you came to me and you were like, Lee, I need to feel safe. I will come and make you feel safe, and
Mm.
you will feel safe. There's not going to be any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got you. But feeling safe on myself, making myself brave, those are the harder things for me. So I fight depression, and I fight, I guess, those little words that remind you that you are weak. and I fight those every morning when I wake up. Some nights I have terrible nightmares and a lot of anxiety. So waking up and trying to change that mindset before my foot hits the ground. And it looks different every day. I can't tell
Yeah.
you, like I can do this every day and it does this, because that's not what's going to be needed that day. But I take it from when I open my eyes and I take a deep breath and I try and like figure out, what it is that I'm feeling at the moment. Being on the spectrum kind of like makes me have to take those like steps.
Yeah.
But it's then like resetting. How am I going to be brave today? What does joy and fun and, life look like for me today? And then I set about trying to make it happen.
You're like a mama bear. Like you really are protective. Like you're a mama bear. Like when you, and I'm thinking of like, you should just hibernate in the winter. That'd be good. Like, but you are like when you're saying I'm brave for other people, like don't mess with my peeps. Do not mess with my
I don't
peeps.
even have to know you. I don't have to know you to
You'll fight the
defend you.
cause. If you believe in it,
That is correct. I don't even
right.
have to know you. I have stood up for
I
people
know.
in
I try to tell
Walmart.
her, like, when we're out and about, like, when we're tooting your own horn is required, and she's terrible at that too. I'm like, pretend it's your best friend.
Yeah.
Pretend you're talking about somebody, not you.
Yeah. What would
How
they
would you
say about
respond
it?
to
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. And both the other way, that way. You exude it. I mean, even if you didn't say anything, you both exude such pureness of love that the words don't even have to be on paper. They don't even match. I mean, even on Zoom, I can feel the love coming from both of you and how much you really, really, really want to help people around the world, especially women. It just comes out in every ounce of your body. So when Lee, when you're, and by the way, Lee, thank you for sharing that, because I think that's for a lot of people. It's easier to be that way, and it does help us because when we help others, it feeds our soul, but it's way more difficult to do it for yourself, way more difficult. And by you giving to other people is how you are overcoming your own obstacles,
Yes.
which are way more difficult. And every therapist, psychiatrist, coach, mentoring person will tell you every single day they have other people helping them and they're working on themselves. They just try to stay maybe one step ahead some days, and some days it doesn't work. So thank you for sharing that. And also with the weather, because there's so many people like that. And they told me the same thing. That freaking sun thing isn't like it doesn't work. But you recognize it, and at least you wake up and change the dialogue in your head to first do a scan of how you're feeling and then check in to see what can I do from where I am. So I really appreciate that. That is brave, right, Ariel? That is brave to share.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that she's braver than she knows a lot of the time. And I don't think, like, the same way, like, build for your low capacity. I don't think she gives herself enough credit. And I think that's the other flip side of that is, when you're giving 100% of your 15%, you got to give yourself credit. Like, because, you did it all. You gave all that you had to give. And that's something to be proud of. And don't berate yourself for only having 15 today.
I love that. And you know what, though? If it's innate in you that you're just a kind human being, sometimes you forget, oh, this is awesome, because what are you talking about? This is just the way I am, right? You forget that, oh, this is freaking, I'm incredible, because you're like, well, wait a minute. How could I be anywhere way else? Right?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
lady. Um, I think what I want to do to wrap it up is, and we'll go to you, Ariel. Is there,
Okay.
no, we didn't get everything in, but is there anything that you want to tell women around the world and men that support us before we go? Like, is there anything that I didn't get in that you would like to say? Besides, we'll tell them how to find you guys. Don't worry about that.
Yes. No, I think, hey, look, I'll just say this, and what is what I say to all, like, it's like, look, you're awesome. I believe in your ability to accomplish great things. And I say that to everybody, and I do genuinely believe that. I think that everybody is capable of amazing things, of making small or large changes that they see reflected in the world around them, and in your ability to leave the world a better place than you found it.
I love that. It's simple, but it's so powerful. And I know, I do believe that. I really do believe that. So that's awesome. All right, Lee, what about you? Is there anything we didn't get in?
I think that if I could leave everybody with one thing, you you're not required, right, to do anything. But what you should do is require yourself. Like, you're not required to do anything for anybody else, but I think that you should start requiring yourself to say one small nice thing about yourself. I started that this year, and it's really difficult. Like, before I get up, I'm just like, okay, say something nice about myself. But like, and it can be one word. And the funny thing is I have this app that's called Finch, and I made it one of my things. I have to say something nice about myself every day. So I'm on there and I'm like, funny. I'm just, because it's so itchy for me to say something nice about myself. But I force myself to do it in order to play this game. In order to lock a feature.
Okay.
But it's called Finch, and if y'all download it, just let me know and we can become friends. But yeah, you get a little penguin and you can put clothes on, and it's cute. But it helps you remember to drink water. And my best friend, it helps her remember to brush her teeth in the morning and lunch and at night. She likes that morning night, and I'm like, get that lunch in there for me. But yeah, so it's just weird things like that, fun things like that. So yeah, say something nice. Just require yourself to do that one word. You don't have to come up with a million things.
I love that.
Today, I'm funny.
I love that. All right. How can they look you up? How can they find your programs? Ariel, we'll start with you.
So, like I said, I work for the YWCA Tri-County area, which has a really easy to remember website. It's yw3ca.org. And they can find me there. They can connect directly to We360, which is our women's entrepreneurship program, and all of the things that we do. That's how you would find me.
Lee?
So there's several ways to find me. One, Changemaker is 2023 Changemaker at gmail.com.
Okay.
So that's one way. Another way is I'm an author, and you can look me up as I'm drowning24 at gmail.com. So that's like a personal thing for my authorship. But yeah, so that's my entrepreneurship part of me. But Changemaker, 2023 Changemaker at gmail.com. Feel free to reach out, ask any questions. I'm here for it.
I have a feeling no matter what, I love that you remember she said, well, what do you need and how can I help? And that what was really key is she did that. And that's true. It's so true. Like, and I mean, for me, with all the takeaways, is it's just a reminder when you really say, when you connect, I'm going to reach out, like really reach out. And how can I help? Make sure you follow through, whatever it is, whatever small thing. All right, I got something to say, women and men that support us around the world. I really appreciate you guys. You've been with me for the long haul. I love you. You're going to want to share this, like it, rate it, subscribe it. We both all would appreciate it. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Thanks, ladies, and toodles.
Bye.